On January 10th, we are recording an episode live with Michael Hieronymus, talking everything AI in commercial real estate for 2025. There is a link in the show notes to invite you to be a part of the audience in Riverside. You can also watch on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. If you have not listened to the episode that we recorded with Michael a few months ago, we're going to play it for you right now. If you have listened to it, it is definitely worth a re-listen. And if you're a visual learner like me, I encourage you to go to YouTube or Spotify. Happy New Year.
I was going to teach you some artificial intelligence.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Michael has an AI course. It's called Implementing AI in Commercial Real Estate. Like, you almost don't need Google anymore. There's so much of this that could speed up everything.
It's the biggest shift that we've seen since the only thing I could compare it to is the advent of the internet. Google is in freak out mode right now.
But you had a really cool model on how you prompt, and I wonder if you'd be willing to share that.
Yeah, can you show us a little skin?
ChatGPT is an intern.
Just like bringing a new person on your team who's going to do work for you.
I can have it all in my contact management system, and I can have introductory emails all within minutes.
This has been one of my favorite episodes, I have to say.
I knew it would be.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew it would be.
it really is.
You have captured some expertise in the hottest topic in commercial real estate right now.
Yeah.
And almost everyone is super interested in this,
Yes.
including Timmy.
You make me a little nervous. I really want to impress you.
If this is something that interests you, or if you just have a fear of getting left behind and getting beat by people who will begin to implement AI in their business for efficiency and effectiveness and speed and all that stuff, I would highly recommend you taking a look at his course. It's really, really good.
Michael, this was amazing. Welcome to
nice.
Commercially Speaking. I'm Timmy Barron, ADHD.
And I'm Bo Barron, CCIM. And where'd the music go? Oh, there it is.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
exciting. I don't even know. We're testing out the live music on the fly right now, so we'll see how it sounds on the on the live. But yeah, this is the podcast where Bo teaches me everything about commercial real estate. I'm an actor and comedian, so we started this and I knew nothing. And now I know a lot more.
Yeah. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Michael Hieronymus. Michael is the founder and owner of Duck Ridge Realty in Portland, Oregon. He and I became CCIM instructors together. So, you know, there's classes. We're the 2019 class. I kind of refer to it as our pledge
The
class.
best.
There were 10 of us. And Michael, not only did we go through the process together, but we sat at the same table.
Oh, wow.
For that week of what we used to call charm school, which is a terrible name, I know, but
I like it.
Instructor training, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a week of intense instructor training. Then if you make it past that week, you're in as a workshop leader, and you kind of work through from there. But Michael and I were table mates, and we've been great friends ever since. And so I'm thrilled to have him on the podcast. So Michael, welcome. This is my brother, Timmy.
Man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
I'm a little starstruck by Timmy, frankly. You know, I've seen him on all these podcasts, and now to see him in the flesh, I'm a little intimidated, a little starstruck.
Well, I feel, thank you.
Michael is an asset manager. And we've never had an asset manager on here. That's not why I've got him on the show today. Like, do you know what we're talking about?
No, but can I ask him?
Yeah.
Michael, what are you teaching me today? That was a transition noise.
Oh, is that going to be?
Hey, there's some new stuff going on today.
Well, besides Water Ski Show, I was going to teach you some artificial intelligence.
Oh, nice.
Michael has an AI course. It's called Implementing AI in Commercial Real Estate. And I took the course.
Okay.
What I asked Michael to do here today is pull out a few things that our audience can instantly get and apply to their business so that there's some real benefit. And then I want to talk a little bit about his course. And he's even been gracious enough to provide a discount code, I think.
Oh,
I think
what?
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask him.
What?
But he's live now, so we'll circle back to that at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. You put somebody on the spot with an audience.
Glad I did that.
So let me give you a little bit of an overview of my experience in the course, and then we can jump into some of this stuff.
Love it.
And I think Michael is even going to be able to demonstrate some stuff for us.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
So it's a 6-week course, 1.5 sessions. They're on Zoom, very interactive. It's great. We could stop him, ask questions, all that stuff. He was demonstrating everything live. So it was very, very good, easy to follow. The course was broken up into these 6 weeks, which included sort of the intro week. If you're new to the concept of AI, the first week was a little bit more basic, though I wouldn't call it basic at all. Got into the LLMs, ChatGPT, and some of its competitors, and some of the things that they can do, prompting tools. One of the things I want him to show us later on is Perplexity AI.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Perplexity?
No.
Oh, dude, this is like, you almost don't need Google anymore.
Oh, nice.
This is cool. So
Okay.
then we did a week on market analysis.
Right.
Specifically, Michael and I teach 102, which is market analysis for
Right.
the CCIM Institute. And I was amazed at what AI can do to accelerate the process of market analysis.
Wow.
It really kind of blew me away. And then there's an investment analysis week next. So how can it actually help you do the numbers? Now, I thought that AI was good at language, but bad at numbers. Turns out it can do numbers a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah.
And so that was a big eye opener for me as well.
Yeah.
Then he got into a week of like CRMs and automation, like, databases and stuff.
Right.
And I was sitting there thinking, holy moly, there's so much of this that could speed up everything and just make us so much more efficient and effective. And at that point, I think I started to get a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like there was so much.
You need a foundation before those walls go up.
Well, what I need is a human being to do this stuff.
Yeah.
I want to know what's possible.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And then.
Who, not how.
That's right, Benny. Who, not how. And then he did a week on enhancing operations, and then a week on marketing strategies. And that was the course. And I'll tell you, every one of these was 90 minutes chocked full. Like 80 of those 90 minutes, every session were just like, I hadn't thought of that. That's brilliant. Like I hadn't considered that.
Yeah. Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where we actually had a presentation about maybe 1.5 years ago, and this guy came into our local CCIM chapter and he was talking about how he was using it. My mind was blown away. I didn't know that all these things were possible. And so about 1.5 years ago, I just started doing, just like you're just talking about, Timmy, like a deep dive into commercial real estate. I did like a deep dive into AI. I wanted to know, from beginning to end, because my feeling, and I know there's a lot of, some of the experts out there, I think it's the biggest change, the biggest shift that we've seen since the only thing I could compare it to is the advent of the internet, right? I remember the internet when I was, in high school or grade school, mostly high school, I guess, but the AOL chat and all that.
Yeah. I am.
But, a lot of people didn't understand that it was going to change. Like nobody knew what the internet was. Back then it was like for chat. Wow, this is really cool. We can chat with each other online and I don't have to pick up a telephone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody, I don't think, really understood the applications that now we know, obviously, and are well aware of. But it was this new shift in how people were thinking. And I think a lot of people think the same way with AI. They think, wow, this is really cool. I can go on and I can have it explain quantum physics to me like I'm a 7-year-old. Well, that's great. But how does it actually help me? And what tools are out there to actually help me be better at business, better, more efficient, doing all these things. And so I have this kind of mind where I put things together. I probably, if I was smarter, I probably would have been an engineer, but I like to I like to, figure out and tinker and how could I use this? And so that's where I put this this course together, and it's implementing AI because we actually are doing it and showing these different tools and how you'll be able to use them. And it's specific to commercial real estate. So I've been in private equity. I was in brokerage for 10 years. Now I'm in, property management, asset management. And so I've got kind of a diverse range. And so I was like, okay, well, in each of these roles, how could I have used this? And so that's where I came up with this course. And I figured, okay, well, what are sort of the tenets? What are the bases for each of these? And so we came up with a 6-week course. I originally had it as an hour. I was like, I have so much information here.
Right.
I need to extend this out to, and now I do a 90-minute course. And even that is really, it goes by in a flash. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
could probably tell you, but
Like every one of those could have easily been 2 hours,
yeah.
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 Did you do that all from like sitting down and did you, my question is, did you use the help of Chat GPT to expand your course or organize your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That, I mean,
It'd be
you
kind
got to.
of,
Yeah.
be kind of, it wouldn't be right
Disingenuous.
if I didn't. Yeah.
I know, right?
Didn't use AI.
It'd be silly not to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I use AI to help build the course. I use what are called these AI agents, which help build the course. So their agents are like Chat GPTs that actually query themselves. So they'll actually think through a process. So you say, I want to create a 6-week course on implementing AI in commercial real estate. And so what then it'll do is it'll break that sentence apart, and then it'll query based on what it thinks it needs to do. And so it'll say, okay, I need to research that and research that and research that. And it'll keep querying itself until it comes up with a literal course content, course, outline.
Wow.
And then from there, I can break it apart and do different things with it. And, knowing what I know, I can sort of, mold it as I will. But yeah, AI helps you do all those things.
Look, if you are one of our Apple podcast listeners or one of the platforms that doesn't have the video, this might be an episode where it's worth jumping over to our YouTube channel so you can see a little bit of what Michael's going to show us. And let's start with Perplexity, because this was something when I had no clue what it was before I took your course, and I've been using it a ton since. So give us a little feel for what Perplexity is, and maybe you could share your screen and show us, like, particularly when you used it to have it do like job analysis for a market.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? This was, yeah.
I use this in really in place of Google now. If I'm going to search the web or anything, I come here at this point. So if you think about, if you're going to query Google, you would say, what is the 10-year treasury yield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it would give you, probably a list of things where you could go in. But if you had a more dynamic sort of query, and you'd have to go into each website, right? Each link that Google sends you, you click in there and then you look for it and everything like that. Well, the difference with Perplexity is it gives you the answers. Okay, so this is Perplexity. And so this is where the knowledge begins. So what is the 10-year treasury yield versus the S&P 500? And so we put that in. And the cool thing about get another drum roll.
That was perfect.
The cool
timing.
thing about this is it actually will give you, they just did a partnership with this company called Taco, I think or Taco, I don't know what it is, but they give you all of this information into what they call knowledge cards.
Wow.
And so this is a knowledge card where it gives you, so once again, you'd have to go and you'd have to maybe go to Fred and put this in and change the graph to get this automatically gives you that information. So here's the S&P 500 versus treasury yield bonds. And so it gives you all that data. And then down here, of course, it gives you, the current values. And then at the top, it gives you where they're getting all these sources. So, here's your Google. This is where you would have to go to get all this information. But instead, the AI automatically gives you this information in a really easy to digest format. along with all the information. And then you can ask follow-up questions to it. Like, what was the treasury yield in the 1980s or whatever it is that you want.
So Timmy, and stay right there if you would.
Yeah.
Michael, because I want you to do something with Perplexity. But do you remember in our first episode when I was explaining to you economic base analysis, and I was talking about the BLS site, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and how it's a black hole and there's all this data and you can go in there and just get lost and it's hard to find anything?
Yeah.
Michael, ask it to find BLS data for like a job trend analysis.
Yeah, so what is the current manufacturing employment in Kentucky? So let's see what it, as of May, it was approximately 250,000 workers, significant portion of the workforce, 13.16% of the state's total employment. So it gives you all of this information. And then here are a lot of the,
can you actually direct
links.
it to get that information from the BLS?
Maybe.
Let's see.
Well, that was one of the things here, right? Yeah. So here it is. It's pulling from the BLS. So then you could just go to that link, and so here's where it's pulling the data. It's saying,
and there it is.
The
man.
And
so,
here it is.
So it essentially takes the black hole of BLS and makes it user friendly,
right?
Like in this case, right here, right?
I mean, if you go to the home page on this, and you're trying to find out what's the manufacturing in Kentucky, you'd be lost.
Oh man, it would take you
unless you do it all the time.
Holy cow.
But yeah, it gives you it all right there. So
imagine writing a term paper in college. I would have to go to the library. I'd have to look up on microfiche and all this stuff and go find and make copies and all that.
Now you're really aging yourself.
Yeah, well, I was
microfiche.
Fiche. Is that how you say it? Microfiche?
Yeah, microfiche. Yeah. I remember doing that.
Do you want to go catch some fishes?
Now, here's the thing. All that same information is still available. It's like you've got a 1 second search timeline now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
where it used to take hours and hours and hours.
Wow.
You get to the same information. You just get there much, much, much faster.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And you're not trusting, like if you ask ChatGPT this, it might give you some of this same information, but I don't know at least if I can trust it. But when you go to Perplexity, it pulls and then it sorts, it cites its sources.
Right.
And it's all, so
you got more accurate data. You're not guessing so much and you're saving so much time.
Well, it can still give you crap data.
Yeah.
But you can see where it got it.
Right. Yeah.
You can so quickly check the source, which is, I think, a big problem that a lot of people have with using AI or ChatGPT. It's like, where did it get this?
I know, right.
It's like, can I trust it or not? With here, Perplexity, man, it doesn't give you all the links where you still have to click through and read and find out if this is what you want.
Yeah.
It does all that for you, gives you the AI generated answer, and then cites its sources, and you can go verify accuracy, verify the quality of the sources and all that stuff. And man, when I'm looking at a new market, do we want to invest in this market or not?
Right.
This is like step 1 or 2 is just, man, start feeding me information on that market, especially when it comes to the jobs.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. So think about what we want to know is like, who are the top 5 employers in Austin, Texas, right? And so let's say we're going to invest in Austin, Texas, and we'd have to go and try to find all this information, but now it's going to give us all this information, right? And so number 1 is Dell Technologies, and there's a map of everything, right? University of Texas, Austin, and City Austin, and then tech companies, they have large offices. So let's say Dell Technologies, and I want to go Dell Technologies.
Wait. You just highlighted that and clicked ask follow-up about that one thing?
Yeah. Just highlight it and then ask follow-up. And so then it tells you Dell Technologies and gives you all the information. So then what I can do is summarize their last quarterly report, especially around employment.
Wait a second.
And so now we can try
hold on a second,
to.
Michael.
Yeah.
Can you capture that little noise he made for a future sound effect? That
That could be your new transition.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Next time I screw up. Ooh.
Oh, you're coming around on the transitions, huh? I've
Sorry.
got our screw
I'm
up
taking
button.
taking over new transitions.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes, I absolutely can sample that.
Great. All right.
So then, you're trying to find out, what is going on with employment. So then you can find out, okay, well, this is what they said on their last quarterly report because they're, a public company. And so you can get all this data now, which is amazing. It's right at your fingertips. And it takes so much of the time that you used to spend doing, market analysis in this, and you can use this to just gather information so fast. And it really changes a lot of stuff and then you can start to automate some of this. So when there's new notifications, when there's new things that happen, news feeds, and then you can have AI summarize it for you, tell you what's going on. I mean, there's just so much that you can know and learn from all this. But
Well, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but like for anybody that's interested in doing it, I just pulled it up and it looks like you could start. There's a free version, kind of like ChatGPT.
That's what I'm using.
You're using the free version.
Yeah, I'm using the free version.
And then who would you recommend to get pro in this space?
So I would recommend somebody upgrading one of the large language models, whether it's Perplexity, whether it's ChatGPT, which I have the upgraded model on.
Yeah.
Whether it's Claude, Anthropic Claude, any one of those. I would suggest having at least one paid version of those because usually they have a lot more elements that you're able to do. For example, in this one, you can, it says try pro. You can upload, image upload, smarter AI, more pro search sort of stuff. On ChatGPT, you can do a lot more in terms of utilizing their more queries. You can do, it used to be that you'd have to pay to get their most recent version. They've kind of changed that, but I think they'll change it again when they introduce ChatGPT 5 or whatever they're going to call it next.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my suggestion. Get one that is a paid version, at least of one of them that you might like, and then go from there.
The question I have in my head right now is what's happening to Google? Like what's going to happen to Google because of this, in your opinion?
Google is in freak out mode right now. Now they have recently done something similar to Perplexity because Perplexity was taking a huge amount of their market share.
Right.
And so now they are giving you AI generated stuff.
Right. I see that
similar
now.
to this, but a little different.
Right.
The other thing is you look at Perplexity, I don't see an ad anywhere, right?
Not yet.
When you go to Google, there are ads everywhere, right? Every time you click on anything.
Well, they trick you.
Yeah.
They make the ads look like links, and then
Right.
you click through to an ad and you're like, that's not what I was going for. And
Yeah.
Right.
But once you're privy to it, you skip the sponsored, like, the first 3 or 4 sponsored.
Yeah.
I always go and skip.
Yeah, I do too, but still sometimes it gets
Well,
me.
you're right. But I think ultimately Perplexity will end up having ads.
I want to show you one other thing.
Okay.
This is this thing called Agent.AI. This is the owner of HubSpot just came out with this, and I think it's really awesome. So you can use this. This is free too. I don't pay anything. They give you a certain number of credits, and then you can get sort of referrals and so forth. But you can just put in a company or a company domain. So you just put in Dell Technologies, if we're sticking with Austin here, and hit go, and it's going to pull in all this information, website, table. So there's a whole table of contents. They're going to do competitor analysis, reviews, decision makers, news articles. So you can do this with actually any business. Just put in their website and it's going to do it for you.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's really amazing. Yeah. So here's competitor analysis, all right there. It's loading right now, so there's a lot.
Mhm. We need a drum roll, I guess.
Yeah, eventually when it finally loads. But yeah, no, it's amazing. And you can, Like if you're leasing to a company that's already established, they've got a website, they've got, some financial data, you can go in and you can immediately vet that company and find out, who they are, what they do.
Wow.
What's their financial stability like and so forth. And so it just gives you a lot. Still loading, but
Would it go into, Wikipedia will also take, they will cite their sources, and like one of those is like the history of the company. How did it come about and stuff like that? Would this do that as well? Or is this more just comparative analysis? Do you know?
It's really just about everything that is in the company. I mean, once again, competitor analysis, decision makers, news articles, tech products.
Do they have a patent?
It has everything. I don't know.
Like, would that be something you could find?
So you're asking too many logical questions.
I know. I'm just thinking like, how can I use this?
I was just showing off shiny objects.
Oh, you're free to check it out.
I know. I will.
This is pretty cool though. Agent.AI. If you go there, you can, make an account and then.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool because, a lot of times we're dealing with companies and I want to know what they're about, right?
Right.
And so we can find out a lot of information here.
That's incredible.
And just for the sake of time, let me kind of ask you the next thing. Somebody came up to me while I was in Salt Lake City and said, look, we should do an episode just on how to prompt well. Whether it's Perplexity or ChatGPT or one of the other ones. But you had a really cool model on how you prompt. And I wonder if you'd be willing to share that.
I guess so. Why not?
Okay, let me rephrase my question as not a question. Take his course.
I didn't think
because this was really cool. I didn't know,
Give us some of that course information.
Okay, that was a little bit of a game changer for me, that framework you had. And I'm not going to ask you to share it here. We'll just use that as a carrot.
So I can explain a little bit of it. I mean, there's a lot of different prompting techniques, right?
Jesus.
There's chain of thought. Just looking at all my notes here. There's self-consistency, where you're making sure and asking it different follow-up questions. There's iterative. But the one that I think you're referring to is called Rhodes, Rhodes framework. And it basically, it defines it and breaks it down into how you interact with the Chat GPT model or not, or, Claude, Anthropic or Gemini. So the Rhodes is role. So you tell it what it is, basically. Like you are a market analysis expert and you're, adept at employment statistics or something like that. And then there's the objective, what you're trying to accomplish, what trying to figure out what the, changes in employment over a 10-year period in, Austin, Texas, whatever. So then you go into details, like what details do you want? And then you use an example of what you might want. And then the final S is a self-check. Like you ask the ChatGPT, do you have any questions on what I've provided to you? And that seems to have it where it can like sense and understand. And the analogy that I use a lot with a lot of people is, and the best one that I've heard is that think of it as an intern. ChatGPT is an intern, right? If you had an intern or a junior broker or whatever it is working for you, you would have to do all these things to an intern, right? You would have to thoroughly explain what it is that you want, because if you don't, the intern's not going to really know, and they're probably not going to ask a question. Right. They're just going to go off and then give you something that is probably totally useless to what you want. And so you have to do the exact same thing with ChatGPT. You have to sort of set the guideline, the parameters, what it is that they're going to be doing, what it is you want, what's your output, and make sure if there's any questions, hey, let me know. I'm here, to help you out along the way.
Wow.
Let me tell you what happened in Salt Lake City. In the room that you could have been in, but weren't, because you were
I was on the water
creating memories with your son,
water,
exactly where you should have been. Yeah. We did a lot of this AI stuff. All right. And you can imagine in a room that big, you're going to get some pushback, right?
Sure.
And you can imagine maybe the color of the hair on the people who were pushing back a little bit.
Yes.
Right. And I used this analogy of
this
the
is
intern.
where ego comes in, right?
Yeah, well, maybe so. But look, in 2019, No, 2021, my son was 19. He had just finished his first year of college, and I had him intern with me. He literally was my intern. And his first week on the job, I was teaching 102 in Nashville. And so I put Will in that course, and he took 102. And I spent that week teaching him market analysis and training him to do the job he was going to do for me for the rest of the summer.
Wow.
And he did great. I was a little nervous, if I was going to be honest with you. I thought this is either going to go really, really well, or he's going to be jello necking in the back, and I'm going to want to rip his arms off and beat him with them, you know?
Sure. Sure.
But he was interested. He did great. I think he got a 92 or a 94 on the exam,
Whoa.
which is
Wow.
higher than I got when I took it way back when.
Wow.
Yeah, come on, Will.
Look at you just at the ready with the hand clap.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, turn it off. Too long. But my point in sharing this with the room there was, you know, look at whatever AI tool you're using as an intern.
Yeah.
It's a new team member. And when Will got out of that course and he started doing the job for me, I continued to have to train him.
Mhm.
And I had to check all of his work to make sure it was good. And the better he got, the less I needed to check his work and the more I trusted his work. And by the end of the summer, I could tell him exactly what to do. And when he completed the project, I skimmed through it, but I trusted it at that point.
Yeah.
But it took us a period of time to build the trust where I knew he was doing really good work, and I still checked it.
Yeah.
I didn't just use it with a client, you know.
Right.
I still had to look, but that's, I think, a big mistake that some people make is they either
Trust it too much?
they either
Or
want
expense.
it to be really good from the jump,
Right.
and when they realize they can't trust it right away,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm out. This isn't any good. Or
Yeah.
they're like, I can never trust it,
Mm-hmm.
or it's cheating or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it's just like bringing a new person on your team who's going to do work for you. That's what this is.
Yeah.
And I really like that intern. I heard it from you first for sure. And that really seemed to land when I was sharing that with the group
It is a great
over the
analogy.
weekend. Yeah. So I really like that.
I think a lot of people have probably said the same thing back when the computer was becoming more mainstream, or
Or the
calculator,
calculator.
things like that. Yeah, right. All of a sudden, the people who were doing it manually, figuring out IRR manually, were now like, "Well, that's cheating." You know?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Like,
They're not going to know
right?
how to do multiplication. If they use
Or
the
when
calculator.
people were using their HP calculators, and then all of a sudden the spreadsheet came out, right? Oh, that's cheating. Now you can manipulate the data and all this, and so I think it's just a mindset change. And you're right. You know, maybe some of the older generation, but you know, I had a guest on what I was doing, and he had said, you know, you're actually be surprised how many of the veteran real estate agents are really adopting this and taking it seriously. It's not just for the younger generation. There definitely are some veterans that are going full bore into this, and it's great because once again, I think this is really going to be the future of how we look at information and how it's disseminated. And you know, when we talk about getting into now predictive analytics, right? That's the whole next generation of what we're talking about. So when you put in back data and then you start to test it on different scenarios, and it's going to give you that. So if you look at like historical absorption versus employment in a certain industry, and now we can have all that back data from places like Moody's, CoStar, and those sorts of things. And now we can start to ask AI, okay, well, what happens if employment in this sector goes up 10% over the next 5 years?
Yeah.
What does that do for absorption? And it can start to manipulate those numbers and give us these predictive analytics. Or in my business, what I have to do is I have to be looking out in the future, right? When I'm thinking about an investment or where our portfolio is at, I have to be looking ahead, and start to make changes to our portfolios and be proactive instead of reactive, right? And so I have to understand these predictive analytics far out in advance. And so that's where AI has just made it. It's a total game changer for what we do.
Would you say it's been a good anxiety pill in a way, right? With all that you're doing in the future?
Yeah. Well, oh, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your anxiety level now that you can?
Right, because if you are always focused about the future, the potential of high anxiety of that job would be there. But with this, yeah, you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's your anxiety level? Like this. Yeah, but this is my typing hand, like.
I like that.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, well, what it does is it helps validate what you're doing, right? When you're because ultimately I have to report to the owner, and why are we making these decisions and so forth, and so you want to compile as much data and try to, which again, stress test these things. Because it really does come down to risk. Bo and I have been talking about that for a long time. Really, what I do is risk analysis. And so we have to throw in these different scenarios and find out, okay, well, if this happens, are we still okay? If this happens, how does it change, our portfolio or our asset or whatever? And so this just helps validate it, and it helps validate it quicker than I used to be able to do in the past. So yeah, all around. And that's what I'm teaching essentially, is how you're going to be able to go grab this information, how you're going to be able to use it faster, how you're going to be able to incorporate it in your business. And, let's say for six weeks, you get one or two things out of it that really change your business and help you make money, be more efficient, spend more time with your clients instead of going through all of this, operational, red tape sort of thing. I think it's worth it. So
Great.
Yeah. And based on my last question that I asked you to do, I don't want to really steal the thunder of the course or anything, but is there something else you'd be willing to share that you think our listeners could just grab onto and maybe apply, like something maybe they haven't thought of before?
Yeah. Can you show us a little skin?
Show us. Yeah. So what I do now is I work a lot with DST providers because they have the exact same clientele that I do, older people who don't want to operate their properties and so forth.
Can you tell Timmy and me what you mean when you say DST?
Sorry. Yeah. So DST stands for Delaware Statutory Trust.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
And so what these are they're basically vehicles that you can invest in. There is a group of people that run these, kind of similar to funds, right? And so the tax advantage is that you can 1031 into DSTs. They're run by somebody else. There's a whole bunch of different qualities of a DST that are helpful. Some of them are not helpful, depending on, if you need liquidity, you can't get your money out until the termination of the fund, those sorts of things. But they have great tax advantages. You can roll in on a 1031. You can roll out on a 1031. So if you want to take a break from real estate. So anyway, the idea is that they have a very similar profile. And so if I'm going into LinkedIn, and let me share my screen again, because I think I should probably show this.
This is cool.
And I don't, you guys are really stealing my thunder here.
Yes.
Okay, so good.
Oh, Google.
So there's this. Whoa! Look at here.
Hey, there we are.
Look at us,
Woohoo.
right front and center.
Nice.
Okay, so if I go into Bo Barron, let's say for example, and here's beautiful Bo.
So handsome.
I did this as an
Bo.
example, and I grabbed up Bo's old. Did you know he's got an old LinkedIn profile? Let's see if we can find it.
It's really funny. Way back in the day when I was with SVN,
yeah,
they mandated 100% social media participation, and they created everybody in the company.
Look at that. Look at that mug.
Yeah, that's back. That's back when we made our first video, Bo.
That is probably 27-year-old Bo Barron right there.
Oh my goodness.
Sexy.
Oh my goodness.
Sexy.
I might have been out of the Marine Corps about a year at that point.
If I can find it, I'm going to show you something. But yeah, in a minute.
That is really funny though. I pulled that up just to make fun of Bo. He wasn't on my. He watched the recording of that one. Yeah. I said, I can't wait for you to watch the recording of that module, and he got a giggle out of it.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, yeah.
So anyway, there's this. Of course, there's this company called Bardeen AI, and what Bardeen AI does is they do this sort of web scraping. And so what you can do is you can set up these, they call them playbooks, where you can go, if they're structured, and scrape all the data and put it into a spreadsheet. And so what I can do right now is I can go ahead and just, I have ones for different ones, right? So I have one for CRE, for sale. It can scrape CRE. I've got one for estate planners because I work with a lot of estate planners, DST providers, like I said, real estate attorneys. And so then what I do is it'll go into a Google spreadsheet. So if I go ahead and scrape, watch what it'll do too. So it'll go ahead and it'll scrape, and it's taking all the data from his LinkedIn profile, and now it's going into this Google sheet. And so if you look on the very last one here, there's his name, right?
Wow.
So that was all of his information. From here, now what I can do is I can take that and form these automations. So what it does for me is it goes in, it automatically creates a contact in my HubSpot. So HubSpot contact. And then it automatically creates a email based on what I wanted to say. I've got different integrations through Zapier. And so then it creates an introductory email. And so it's in my inbox right now. I go to my drafts, it's right there. And I can shoot off an email to him, and it's all done automatically just by clicking on their name and scraping the information.
Oh my God.
So
think through this.
That's Bardeen.
Yeah.
So think through what in his course, he actually shows you how to set all this stuff up. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't,
Yeah.
That's too much for our episode here, but imagine this. I go on some website, whether it's LinkedIn or anything that's not behind really a paywall, or as long as you can get behind the paywall, you go in and let's say it's self-storage owners or whatever, and you can create a list. You can set this up to not only scrape the data and put it in a spreadsheet, but then integrate that spreadsheet. So every time there's a new row of information, it automatically puts it into your CRM. And then you can have a sequence created to where, that introductory email is automatically created.
Yeah.
And then you can set up, HubSpot can do this. There's a lot of platforms like HubSpot, Salesforce, Infusionsoft, or whatever they call it now, Keep. There's a number of other ones now where if they respond, this sequence happens.
Wow.
If it doesn't respond, then I'll send a follow-up email in 3 days and then another 3 days or whatever. You can set that up to automatically go. And the purpose of the emails could be to try to get them to schedule an introductory call.
Right.
And so if you're good at setting up those sequences and moving people kind of to the next step, then all of a sudden you've got introductory calls on your calendar that was completely AI generated, integrated through web scraping and
oh my gosh,
and CRM automation and all that stuff.
I can feel Alice shaking in her boots.
Alice, you are very safe.
Alice, you're very safe.
Alice, you are safe.
But I mean, think of the alternative to this. So you got to go in, you got to click on, this is the founder of Bardeen. So he's got but click on their contact info. Then I've got to go and I've got to type it all into my contact management system. Then I've got to go and I've got to create an email to introduce my company. That could take 5-10 minutes per, contact.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Now I can go through this list, scrape. I can have it all in my contact management system, and I can have introductory emails all within minutes, seconds. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And so you can just kind of become so much more efficient with everything. So
that's unreal.
Yeah, I mean,
look at that photo.
I used to have somebody, I know, he's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I used to have somebody that used to abstract our leases because we go through a lot of leases, especially when we take over a portfolio. And so now I can have my custom GPT do it. I've got a lease abstractor that I have that sets up perfectly with my lease management system. There's just a number of ways that you can use AI just to,
let me ask you one question.
Implement it, be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one question about the lease abstraction, because you have your custom GPT do it.
Yes.
You could have just Chat GPT do it.
Yeah. But the inputs get they're not the way that I want them. So if you just ask ChatGPT, please abstract this lease for me, it'll put it out in any output that it feels like that's, so I go in and I create a custom GPT because this is specifically the outputs that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, I want it to line up with an import into my lease management system, right? So I want that export to be the way that I want to import it into something else. And so you can go in and you can create those custom GPTs and make sure that that's the output that you're getting.
Now, is it also true?
Yeah,
I know I cut you
Go
off,
ahead.
but is it also true that when you create a custom GPT, you can make that private so that the information you put into it does not become part of the general OpenAI model, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So what they say is that they're not training their data on your inputted data. So if I upload a lease to it, they are not training it. They don't know the information on it. They're just, it's sort of it's privacy protected essentially. So
wow. Well, you know how much you love that photo right there, probably as much as I do, of Bo. If you stop sharing your screen for a second.
Oh, we got an even better one?
Oh, we got a video to go along with it.
I'm so excited about this. I can't even stand it.
It's
okay, let me.
So 13 years ago, Bo, Sperry Van Ness, Sperry Van Ness that was doing that. Bo asked me to help him make a video. This was probably like the first, we could say this was the first iteration of what ultimately came to this.
Is this the one where the founding fathers are on either side of me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is.
I just want to show you a piece of it because I think Michael will love it.
This is how far we've come, baby. This is so bad.
Here we go. Can you see it?
Yes. Oh, I love it.
The music was good.
I'll just show you a clip.
Hi, this is Bo Barron, Managing Director of Sperry Van Ness.
See, I've got.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is the inaugural edition.
I've got the founding
Barron
fathers
video
looking
blog.
down on me.
So not only do I think that this is a very relevant media, and not only do I think that this is cutting edge cool, but mainly because
Cutting edge cool,
I've got
baby.
a tech wizard brother who showed me how to do all this. The Barron Group is jumping into the video blog arena with both feet.
With one
Now,
episode ever.
Today we'd like to talk
With
about
both
tenant
feet.
representation. We understand.
Did you hear
not
what you
the
said about
sexiest
me?
topic,
And also
but
because I got a
extremely
tech
relevant
wizard brother
as we see
to
the
do it.
economy
Anyway, that
continue
was.
to improve and tenants
If anybody's interested
begin
in watching that
to
video,
consider
I'll put the link in the
relocating again.
comments.
Oh, please
Now,
do.
tenant
That's awesome. It'll go from
Really
its
be
12
summed up
views
in
over
one thing.
13 years to
Engaging
double that in a couple days. Probably.
Oh, yeah. You start to monetize that immediately.
Oh yeah, we got to get on that. I'm actually posting that in the comments right now. If anybody wants to go watch the full video, there's good information on there, I bet. But
Probably.
yeah,
Who knows?
that's so funny.
Who knows?
So funny. All right. Well, I don't know how long we've got him. I don't want to take too much of your time, Michael.
Well, I thought this is, I think, a good time to wrap before he shares too much. But I did put him on the spot
Before I
early
share with him too much.
So I really.
So anyway, I gotta go.
Let's cut this off
so
now.
this is
that
the time
Timmy
to
is
go.
getting, no, but there's two things I want to wrap up here. One is, would you be willing to give our commercially speaking audience a enticing discount to join the next iteration of your course that starts on August 6th?
Yes, I will do that for you.
My man.
My good friend. My good friend.
That is very kind.
Okay, so I got to make let's say 10% off.
Yeah, baby.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
10%
And
off. 10% off.
do we need a
and
code?
so I got to make a code. Yeah, I got to make a code.
Yeah.
Let me write this down.
How about,
It's got to be kind of short.
Yeah.
okay, so commercially
CS
speaking
pod?
is too long.
I mean, we
Okay,
do
so
CS
10%
pod.
off.
Yeah,
What do you want?
CS
Or-
pod.
CS pod.
Yeah, CS pod, commercially speaking podcast. CS pod.
Okay. So
Yeah.
CSPOD.
Yep.
Okay. I'll put it up this afternoon.
Great.
Okay.
And when this goes,
So you
when
guys all have it.
this podcast,
Oh, they got to know where to go.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
know
So,
where to go.
like, give them the details,
yeah, how,
where to
how-
go
Oh,
to
okay.
sign up. We'll include that in the show notes, like the link
Yeah.
to
Okay.
sign up. But
Got it.
yeah, because this will actually be published in a few weeks, or like maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
before
Oh, okay,
August 6th for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So it's OR for Oregon, SCI.net. So Oregon Society Commercial Investors. It's a society that I put together several years ago. So ORSCI.net. Go to the events tab, and it's right there. So you can sign up there, and then when you're checking out, just put in this CSPOD for Commercially Speaking Podcast.
I'm texting the link to you right now.
Oh, great.
And you get,
I'm putting it in the comments for our listeners right now. We do have a listener question that I don't, it sounds like a little out of the realm, but I'll let you decide. The first question was answered through the podcast. And again, shout out to Oscorp Enterprises. I use AI to analyze spreadsheets and PDFs to give summarized results with large PDFs. Other than content creation, data analysis, what are you guys using it for? We've already answered that question. And you can dive in more going to that link.
Well, there's a deeper dive into that where you can actually start, once again, creating your custom GPT. So you can create, like, for example, you can take an offering memorandum. You get offering memorandums all the time, right? And so this is what I show in the investment analysis.
It's like the marketing package on a property.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
the marketing package.
Yeah.
So it's got the financials in it and everything like that. Well, I've created a custom GPT now where it will scrape the PDF, put all the numbers into a spreadsheet that I provided to it, and it'll pump it out with a lot of with all of the calculations already done. So it'll have your IRR, it'll have your cash on cash, unlevered yield on cost. It'll have all of these already done for you. So there's a way to just supercharge your underwriting real quick. So if you're in an investment group or anything and you say, well, this looks a little exciting, grab that offering memorandum off Crexi or CoStar or whatever, plug it into this custom GPT, and it'll automatically underwrite the property for you. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And that's part of your course, I imagine.
Yeah, he shows us how to do it in the course.
Yeah.
Really.
So what was the other question?
That's great. And the other question is, I would be more interested to hear, or I'd be interested to hear about the tokenization of real world assets, such as commercial real estate. And that sounds like more of like blockchain, Bitcoin area, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've got a guy that's doing that right now. I was going to interview him on the YouTube channel that I have, and he is doing this tokenization. It's interesting. I can't even begin to say that I have any knowledge around any of that tokenization stuff.
Yeah,
it seems pretty abstract to me, but I do understand the blockchain, and I think there's gonna. When I started in real estate, I started, and they were just coming out with QR codes. And QR codes, nobody kind of understood. You had to have this special app and everything. And then QR codes went away for a while. And then all of a sudden, everybody was using QR codes.
COVID, man. They got rid of menus. And that's when I think everybody really started using them again.
Yeah.
And I feel that way with blockchain. Like, there was a big buzz around blockchain back in, 2018, 2019, 2020. And then all of a sudden you don't really hear about it. Like, it's going to change title and escrow and all of this. But I really think it will eventually. I think it's going to come back around where suddenly, these new technologies are going to be a little more mature, and people are going to, once again, understand how to implement it in commercial real estate. So
what's your YouTube channel? We can send people over there.
Oh, it's CRE Tech Pulse. So I've got a few. I'm uploading 2 more soon. And,
let's go.
I interview like new people who are putting out new products, new tech products. We talk about just artificial intelligence. We talk about, I've had some great guests on. So
amazing.
And I'm constantly changing it.
CRE Tech Post. I said post.
CRE Tech Pulse.
Yeah,
take the pulse.
That's my brain. I just went to it, saw it with my eyes, heard you say it, and then just typed CRE Tech Post.
That's your ADHD kicking in.
It is. No, it's kicked in. All right. Cool. Anywhere else? Anything else you want to plug?
Yeah. Where else can people find you?
CCIM. Yeah. If we want to, call Bo and I out, and we'll do a class on market analysis for you.
Oh yeah. If you need a
We
102
have a fun
instructor,
time.
Michael is a fantastic choice. And if you need an asset manager, where would they go? Duck Ridge Realty?
Duck Ridge Realty, yeah, duckridgerealty.com. And the other thing I teach on Duck Ridge Realty, if you go to the bottom right, there's this little icon, and it looks like a little AI guy, and it's a chat bot that you created. And so you're able to create these chat bots and feed them information based on your company, based on whatever it is you want. And they've got that knowledge base, that knowledge information. And so you can go and ask it questions. It's really cool. So I teach you how to do that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like Clippy, making your own little Clippy.
Clippy was lame.
Clippy
These are so much better. Yeah. Yeah. You can go in and say like, I want to have somebody in charge of my portfolio management because my dog Fluffy died, and I'm moving to Jamaica, and it'll come back and it'll say, so sorry about your dog Fluffy, and good luck on the trip there. Here's how we might be able to help you. I mean, it's amazing stuff.
That's incredible.
Really cool. Yeah.
Wow. This has been
next level.
This has been one of my favorite episodes, I have to say.
I knew it would be.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it would be.
It really is.
Well, I don't know. You had me on after Bob Knackle, and I was frankly, I was like this because going off after the godfather of New York real estate, that is tough shoes to fill, man. You guys really put me on the spot.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, you have captured some expertise in the hottest topic in commercial real estate right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And almost everyone is super interested in this,
Yes.
including Timmy, which I think is why it's one of your favorite episodes.
And including Bob Knackle. He was talking about moving into this space.
Oh, yeah.
And I bet if you were to hear this or see your knowledge on it, you would get a phone call. I don't know. I don't know much, but
I love talking to Bob.
Yeah.
Bob's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime. Bob, give me a call.
Yeah. Bob, call Michael. But this is everything that you were teaching here. I could envision myself using it in other field, like apart from this, for most of it. Right. And Bob Knackle was incredible, right? Like everybody in CRE knows him, but most of the information he was giving, I was like, wow, that's a lot of really great information he's got in his head. Like I said, it was quipping me to make fun of y'all down the road.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Michael, do you want to ask Timmy some questions?
Oh, do I? Really?
You want to do a pop quiz?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a pop quiz.
Let's do a pop
All
quiz.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So Michael, here's how this works.
Yeah.
We're going to ask Timmy 5 questions. And as our guest, you get to ask the first question and we'll alternate back and forth. Now, here are the parameters. There are no parameters. You can ask Timmy. You can ask Timmy anything, and I will even challenge you to go deep into the 102 course content and see if he can pull up, because I'm telling you, he has amazed me week in, week out with what he actually retains. So ask him questions about what we've covered here today. Ask him questions about anything to do with 102. I haven't taught him all that stuff, but a lot of it
that's okay.
He's got, and we'll see how he does. So
let's see.
Question number 1.
Question number 1. Okay, so I used an analogy at the beginning of this describing.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Now I'm ready.
I'll be on top of it.
I used an analogy at the beginning of this a football team compared to portfolio management, asset management.
Mm-hmm.
What's the analogy to an asset manager's role on the football field?
The general manager.
Close.
Oh, wait.
Close.
The asset manager, who would that be? That's what you're asking on the football field.
Yeah.
Okay, you have the owner. No, you have the owner, you have the general manager. I'm not that familiar with football, but I think I wrote it down. Oh yeah, I thought you said there's the owner, there's the general manager, and then there's somebody in between that. There's not?
No, there's the owner, the general manager, and then the coach, and then the players.
Right.
Yeah. So which one's the asset manager?
The general manager would be, right?
Nah.
Is it the coach? It's the coach. Okay.
So you got the owner, right? They're the ones cutting the checks.
Yeah.
You got the portfolio manager.
That's
They're
what
the
you
ones
were.
that are overseeing the operations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the coach is the one that's calling the plays, dictating where the players are, the brokers, the property managers.
Oh.
Right? And so that's
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I that was unfair because I didn't know you don't know football. So
Well, look, you explained it to
you
him.
explained it. You explained it.
All right, question 2.
All right.
question 2: what does
Wait. This is my question.
Sorry.
Oh.
We alternate.
Ah.
We alternate.
Oh,
You gotta-
we alternate.
That's
okay,
right.
gotcha.
Attention to detail, my friend.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Jeez.
You get question 3,
I'm gonna
and
go
then
now.
you're going to get question 5 as well. But
Oh, I know.
Question
Okay,
2.
Now I gotta think of two.
all right, there was
That's
a
great.
particular framework he
Mhm.
shared. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
When I asked him about prompting methods,
Mhm.
he actually threw out a number of them. Can you remember 2 of
Yeah.
the ways?
The Rhodes
Okay.
framing, which is one. Self consistency.
Very good.
Would be another one.
All right.
Wow, awesome.
Nicely done.
Wow.
There we go. That's what I need. I need that. Wow.
That-
I totally bombed
That hit of dopamine ding.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right.
It was.
That's awesome.
Michael, are you ready?
I'm ready now.
Question 3.
It doesn't have to be. It does not have to be easy.
It's not going to be. I
Okay.
heard the first couple
Oh,
words.
okay.
He was-
All right.
What does shift share analysis tell us?
Oh my God.
That's a hard one. Was it too hard?
No,
Was
no,
that
no, no,
unfair?
no, no. It's there. It's there.
Okay.
I
Okay.
remember shift share. Trying to think of. It helps if I can remember what episode we were talking about it in the context of the episode. Was it during like our whole? We talked about shift share during our
Market analysis.
Market analysis.
Of Titusville.
right. And so, oh yes, okay. We were seeing. What?
No, go ahead. This is like
Oh.
amazing for me to just watch.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, your wheels
I thought-
turning.
Is he
okay,
sweating?
you were
Is he
shaking your
sweating?
head no, and I was like, ooh.
No, you're
Um,
good.
Yeah, okay. I'm very happy. I'm in the present, right? I'm going in the past a little bit. It's a little depressing. And a little anxious about the answer, which is coming up. I got all 3 of those going. You are trying to look at kind of the market share of
Is there a time limit on this?
there should be. There should be. I need a clue. Don't tell me straight up. Can you give me? Yeah.
It has to do with employment.
Oh, so the NAICS codes. You need the NAICS codes to figure out shift share analysis.
You
probably, right?
will use the NAICS codes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To
I'm going to give you one other clue.
okay.
Has to do with employment, and it also looks into the past, where economic base analysis projects the future.
Yeah.
So what does it tell us?
There's the time.
Boy, I got him twice.
Yeah, you
Is this,
did. I've
this
not
is-
been gotten a
wow.
long time.
That is-
I'm kind of. You make me a little nervous. I told you you're one of my favorite guests we've had. This is. I really want to impress you, so I'm all tense. My brain is firing.
You are impressed. You are impressing me. Like I
Okay.
said, I was starstruck when I saw
Okay,
you.
cool.
I told him to go hard. He went pretty hard. So, Michael,
I
should
did.
have
want me
known
to-
that. I should have known that.
So, given a time frame, it looks how employment in a certain industry does locally as opposed to nationally.
Yep.
So we can find out the comparative strength of a particular industry by looking at shift
That's
share
right.
analysis.
So you want to take the national employment, put that in a bucket, put that in the corner, strip that away. You've got another layer.
We want to strip it down, to understand what we call a regional shift. And the regional shift tells us how strong that employment sector is compared nationally.
Right.
And it indicates
the competitive,
which of those industry sectors have comparative advantage.
Yeah, comparative advantage. Yeah.
It doesn't tell you what the comparative advantage is.
Yes.
Just that there is one there.
Yeah.
And then you get to go
and then you use Perplexity to find it out.
Then you, instead of being
that's right,
a private eye and figuring it out, you just use Perplexity.
I remember it all now. In the Bay, or like the context of it, what we're looking at in the specific industry of like healthcare and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And space.
It's
space
all
jobs.
coming back to
It's
you.
all good. Yeah. In that context. Okay.
All right. Great. Well, question 4. How is Perplexity different or beyond Google as a search tool?
It pretty much gives you the answer first, and then it'll give you the links where you can go and verify and see what your source is. And it also gives you like a little information card of sorts with all the information that it thinks that you need. And it does that by breaking down what you have given it and stripping everything down to, or getting all the information down and to giving you what they think you want.
Yeah.
Right.
So instead of Google just giving you a billion links that you have to click through and then read, and Perplexity does all that for you, gives you the answer.
Yes.
And then gives you all the links so you can go verify its answer.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, very nice.
Baby.
Nicely done.
Okay, cool. All right.
All right. Question 5, Michael.
Question 5?
Wrap this up for us.
Okay, so I sent you to a website that actually does company research for you.
Mm-hmm.
What was the URL on that website?
Was it you gave 2 of them. Was it agent.ai?
Agent.AI. Great.
Yeah, baby.
All right.
Yeah.
Follow-up question is, what is the coupon code for the course coming up?
Oh, great question. orsci.net/CS pod. Right?
Well, no.
Oh, wait. Oh, no.
That's a good
again.
distinction.
You're
going to go to ORCSI.
ORSCI.
SCI. Yep, not crime scene investigation.
ORSCI.
.net. And then you go to events, and then you'll click on the implementing AI in commercial real estate. And when you go to pay, there will be a coupon code box. And that coupon code is
CS Pod.
There you go.
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question because that clarifies a lot.
Thank you.
I see. Well, which, of course, when I go to edit this, I'll really have that information to look back on.
Yeah.
And be like, what was that? Yes.
But look, if you can't tell, I was a huge fan of the course. I got a ton out of it. And I would highly recommend, if this is something that interests you, or if you just have a fear of getting left behind and getting beat by people who will begin to implement AI in their business for efficiency and effectiveness and speed and all that stuff, then I would highly recommend you taking a look at his course. It's really, really good.
Michael, this was amazing.
You guys are amazing.
Oh man, it was a blast.
I can't believe
having you on.
I was finally on. This is great.
We got you.
Love it.
And we'll probably have you back. Like, there's so much.
Oh
that
yeah,
we
got to
talk
have
about
him
and
back.
do this.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, Michael, thank you.
Love to.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you're watching here on YouTube, help us get Barbara Corcoran.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the bigger the guests we can get as well. We've got a weekly newsletter, free weekly newsletter, which is
subscribe.wgbaron.com. In that newsletter, we send it on a weekly basis. It includes the latest episode of the podcast. It includes some other things that I curate that I like to read, stuff on leadership, business development, organizational culture, all those things I kind of dig. It's a mashup of all that stuff in a newsletter that we send out once a week.
Yep.
And
we're doing more lives. So we're going to let you know when those lives are coming up as well. If you like this, please let us know if you like it or not. If you would like to leave a review on Apple, which helps us out a great deal, it means a lot to us. If you're listening to it on Apple right now, click our name. It'll take you to the page. Scroll down a little bit past a few episodes, and you'll see the ratings and reviews. And right there, you can hit write review, and we will shout you out.
And as you bring up shout outs,
Yeah.
I was just with a lot of our listeners. We're in Salt Lake City. And I do want to do it. Jim Rosen said hi.
Jim Rosen.
Mark Seipert said
The
hi.
man.
Mike.
Oh, the other man.
Yeah. Ian Levin
Yes.
from Salem, Oregon. Huge fan of the show.
Ian.
Wanted to know when I'm bringing you to one of these events, which we absolutely have to do at some point. Gary Martinez, who's one of
Gary?
our new 102 instructors and
Gary.
won the Rising Star Award
Ah.
as one of the best new instructor out there these days. And he said that when he works out in the mornings,
Yes.
like this is what he listens to.
Oh.
So, man, dude, I want another set of push-ups before you head to work this morning. So, Gary, thanks for the love and the encouraging words. We appreciate
Come
it.
on, Barry. Gary, you could do it, Gary. Gary, you could do it. Push!
Could do it.
Push! Don't be a little... Come on, you got this, Gary. Push it! Good job, Gary. Good job. So that was for Gary.
That was great.
That was a great shout out
That
to
was
Gary.
great.
Working
I'm
out.
not.
That's it. I
Yep.
think that's it. We'll see you all next Monday. Are you sure there's anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Cool. Michael, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, you guys.
See you soon.
Appreciate it. All right.
Bye, Alice.
Right.
Bye, Alice.
Bye, Alice.
All
Love
right,
you, brother.
Love you, man.